Welcome to Pastor's Chat today. Well, we can't thank you enough for your prayers for our grandson, Luke, who is facing very complicated and extensive surgery today on his brain to repair a leak. And this has been ongoing now ever since he's been born 2 years ago. And we really do appreciate your prayers. His surgery scheduled for early this afternoon. And just again, ask that you continue to pray. Thank you so much. Today we're looking at Joshua chapter 9. After the victory that the people of Israel had at Ai, they continue their journey going up toward the cities of Gibeon. And there they are encountered by an entourage of people from Gideon, some leaders who came to tell them that they were strangers from way off distance, foreigners, and they had heard about how God had taken care of them as they crossed the Red Sea and brought down the plagues upon Egypt. Said nothing about Jericho or Ai, of course, because they wanted the people of Israel to think that they were a long distance off. And according to the law of Moses, the people of Canaan had to be destroyed, but anybody outside the borders of Canaan could be taken captive, not captive, but taken over, and then made to have pay tribute to the nation, etc. But these people deceived Joshua and the people of Israel, the leaders of Israel, and that's where we're at. Now, we just have been reminded over and again that even if we have victory in our lives, the devil doesn't go very far away, but he comes back to tempt us again and to lead us astray. And he comes back not as a roaring lion sometimes, but as a deceiver. And so it says that verse 15, Joshua made peace with them and made a covenant with them to let them live, and the rulers of the congregation swore to them. And then verse 16, and it happened at the end of 3 days after they had made a covenant with them that they heard that they were their neighbors who dwelt near them. And so we don't know how they heard it. Maybe as soon as the oath was made, the covenant was made, the Gibeonite says, we really just live down the road, and now you can't hurt us. I don't know what happened. But what happened is then the people of Israel, it says in verse 18, and all the congregation complained against the rulers. But the rulers said to the congregation in verse 19, we've sworn to them by the Lord God of Israel. Now therefore we may not touch them. So we're going to let them live. And so you go on through the end of this chapter and you find out, and that day Joshua made them woodcutters and water carriers for the congregation and for the altar of the Lord in the place which he would choose, even to this day. And so what happens, because of this oath they made, they would not attack them when they came to their cities, but they turned their mistake into a blessing. Now, we can't avoid our mistakes. We can't avoid our failures. And remember, this was a prayer failure. And matter of fact, all our failures usually are prayer failures. We forget to seek the face of God. And so as they now have made this mistake, they say, okay, we can't kill you, we can't attack you, but we are going to make you servants to the altar. And actually, these people became known as the Nethinims, and they are part of the people that came back after the Babylonian captivity, which means maybe even through their service in the tabernacle and the temple, they became worshipers of God. They became a part of the nation of Israel as they became part of the worship. And so they literally, Joshua and the people of Israel, turned their mistake into a blessing. And my friend, we can't help our mistakes, but we can then take them to the Lord and say, now what's the next best thing to do? And I believe we have the opportunity to practice Romans chapter 8, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love the Lord. And when we come to the Lord, and we can say, I've made a mistake, I'm sorry, I should have prayed, but Lord, now give me wisdom to deal with the consequences of this mistake. And it will be amazing maybe what you'll learn through it, or what God can teach you, or what God might even do to make it a blessing in the future. And so you just take it to the Lord in prayer now, even if you failed to pray earlier. Well, God bless you today. Thank you again for your prayers, and you have a wonderful, wonderful day.